Welcome. For the sake of the recording, I'm Marla with Inward Office, and we hold on-site and virtual fitness, yoga classes, mindfulness meditation for organizations, really to help you manage your stress day to day and week to week. And Julie is teaching us today a yoga at your desk, Yoga-Ergo. This is just really something you can easily integrate into the middle of your day. And I highly suggest that you silence your notifications, dim the lights if you can. If you can, take a little bit of a different position than the position you normally work at, if this is the middle of your workday. And then, yeah, sign up for more classes on inwardoffice.com/free class. And I'll hand it over to you, Julie. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm excited to be here. I see some familiar names too, so it's good to see names and folks, and I'm glad you're joining us today for this free class. So today's class will be basically sitting in a chair and thinking about our movements in our bodies that we do throughout our day and those moments of stillness, right? And what's happening in our bodies as we sit still and how we do repetitive movements and all of that, and how we can kind of combat that throughout our day with movement, with activity, with pausing, with noticing, and really paying attention to what's happening in our body to be able to create those shifts. Because in our bodies, we have alignment, right? So our spine has a particular curve to it, but much of our activities and our stillness, our lifestyles create us to be out of alignment, right? So oftentimes we jut our heads forward when we're focused on a computer or a cell phone. So today we're going to kind of do some movements to combat that and then give us greater awareness of when we are falling into those lifestyle traps to really prevent us from having, great alignment throughout our day, because that's where we oftentimes get underactive and overactive muscles. And that's where we can create greater misalignment. All right. So with this being said, I'm going to move to my chair myself, and hopefully you're there as well. And I would like to start in a few moments of stillness, just to allow us to come together and be in this practice together. So taking a moment to pause, resetting our mind from our day as we settle into a comfortable position. Comfortable yet alert. I like to sit on the edge of my seat. I have blocks under my feet so that I'm comfortable. And just checking in on your posture now, the tilt of your pelvis, rolling your shoulder blades back, tucking your chin, making sure that our head isn't jutting forward. And then a good check on your posture is always to think about if a string was being pulled from your head, where would your spine land if that was the case? So really the opposite of slouching, right? So opening and lifting and just finding that comfortable curve in our spine. All right. So in these first few moments of stillness, just make a choice. Does closing your eyes feel good to you? Is it a way for us to begin to focus internally and let go of external stimulation wherever you are? Depends on your space. So making a choice about eyes open or eyes closed. And then make a choice about palms up or palms down. What's comfortable to you today? So as we settle into these few moments of stillness, palms up is a sign of receiving. Palms down is a sign of grounding. Just recognizing and observing, noticing what you need in your body today. Grounding or receiving. So again, taking a few minutes of stillness just to disconnect, to begin to focus internally, and allowing yourself to be here. So these movements that we're going to do today are good, yes, for our physical being, but this stillness, this pause, is an opportunity to reset our mental and our emotional being. How often throughout our day do we take time to actually be in stillness? Closing our eyes, just focusing internally. It's a great way to reset, to energize, to shift. And now let's just gently begin to connect with our bodies, starting first with feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your bottom on the chair, checking in, just accepting that grounding sensation that those sensations can offer us. Another thing you can do out throughout your day when you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, just feeling the weight of your body on the support underneath you. Tells our brain that in this moment we are supported. And now let's gently move our attention throughout our body, noticing what we feel today. So you shift and wiggle your shoulders, your knees, whatever you need here. Just checking in what these small movements feel like in your body. Where do you feel tightness? Where do you may be holding stress? And just attempt to let go and release as we check in. Again, how often do we do this throughout our day? Just checking in on where we're holding stress. So these physical sensations are a way for us to check in, to observe, and practice presence, being here in the moment. Now let's shift our attention, our focus to our breath. Noticing our chest rise as we inhale, noticing our chest fall as we exhale. Simply connecting with our breath here. Noticing each inhale and noticing each exhale. It's allowing us to be deeper into the present moments as we continue to disconnect from our activities, our responsibilities, our to-do lists, just being here. And it truly does take our brain about 6 minutes to fully engage from one activity to another. So gently moving into our practice as we connect with each inhale and connect with each exhale. We'll begin to add some movement now, continuing to connect with our breath. So on our inhale, lift our arms up. Bring the palms together above your head and just do a little shift side to side. Lift and lengthen. Notice how these shifts feel in your spine, in your chest, in your shoulders as you just make these small but yet effective movements. Noticing if you feel tension in your lower back, tight shoulders. And then we'll come back to center. Reach a little bit higher. Take a deep inhale in. And on our exhale, bring our arms down, chin to our chest. Go ahead and rock that head side to side. Let go of that cervical spine, the neck, as you just gently shift your head side to side. Great release for our cervical spine, letting go of tension, releasing our face and our jaw. Certainly something you can do anytime throughout your day when you're feeling that tightness build in the neck. All right, we'll connect with our breath 2 more times. So on an inhale, lift and reach. And on our exhale, side out, arms come down. We'll do that again on an inhale, lift and reach. And on our exhale, side out, arms come down. Let's come back up to a neutral spine. Checking in on that posture again. Roll those shoulder blades back. All right, check in on that neck, making sure we're not jutting forward. Pull the neck to back. Line it with your ears. Ears and shoulders should be aligned as you check in here. All right, we're going to gently tip that right ear over to the right shoulder. And then choose to take that left arm away from your body. Feel that stretch down your neck and your shoulder. Again, feeling and opening that left side of your neck as you attempt to release tension from that part of your body. And now gently bring your chin to your chest, pausing here. And then take that left ear over to the left shoulder. And then making a choice, if it feels good, to lift that right arm up. Feeling that stretch down the right side of our neck and shoulder. We're going to rock our head in these 3 positions. Chin to our chest, right ear, right shoulder, chin to our chest, left ear, left shoulder. So gently rolling your head, these 3 positions, going at your own pace, just attempting to let go of tension in our neck as we begin to loosen the muscles. Our neck works so hard all day long, holding up our big, giant brain. Taking time just to pause and release. All right, we'll come back up to a neutral spine. Lower those arms down, roll those shoulders. All right, now we're going to bring our arms up, bend our elbows, palms up towards the ceiling, doing some nice gentle shoulder rolls. So lifting our shoulders up, back, down, and forward. 4 positions in the scapulas. As you shift those shoulder blades on your back. And again, shoulders and neck are a place where many of us hold tension. So loosening up those muscles around the shoulder blades here. So when we're at work trying to solve a problem or really into what we're doing and we're so focused and we're stressed, what do we typically do? Bring our shoulders up towards our ears, right? So this is the way to release that. All right, reverse your circle in the opposite direction. All right, release those hands down, shake out those shoulders. And now we're going to just gently lift up our arms and push them away from our body. I always like to imagine as though you have two walls closing in on you and you don't want to get squished. So really engaged as you push those walls away. This can technically be like a life force stretch as you open and lift in that chest and push those walls away, fully engaged. All right, now we're going to flip our palms down and then gently flip our palms up. So just shifting our palms up and down. What we're doing in this process is internally and externally rotating the humerus bone in the shoulder socket. So it's a small yet very effective movement. And as long as you don't have any injuries in your shoulder, this is a great thing to do just to loosen up those tissues, the ligaments, the tendons around that shoulder complex. All right, now we're going to take our hands and just push them behind us and push those hands as far as we can behind us to feel the inner shoulder stretch. Pause here. And again, thinking about the posture always and anytime throughout your day, just lift your arms up and feel that expansion to release out those muscles, release tension, give our brains a little reset. All right, on our next inhale, we're going to lift our arms above our head, palms together. We're going to bend our elbows now, bring our hands behind us. I call this shark fin pose. All right, stretching out our triceps as we open and lift in our chest. Breathe into this shape and just feel the release in the chest and in the triceps and the shoulder. We're going to take our hands wide on our head now. Elbows go out as we find, I call this Oprah pose. It is a power pose, building confidence, just like putting our bodies in this shape. And then maybe you choose to look up at the ceiling for a little baby back bend. Optional, of course. And then we'll come back to that neutral spine. We're going to release our fingertips now, rolling our shoulder blades back, coming into cactus arms. All right, now we're going to take our hands behind us. You can grab the chair behind you if it's comfortable and you can reach comfortably. And if you can't, create fists with your hands and put the hands on the small of the back. We're coming into a version of camel pose. So hands on our back to lift or grabbing that chair behind you. So in this camel pose, we're going to lift in our chest, look up at the ceiling, and just find your sweet spot where this feels good. So a great way to combat that hover that we do all day long. Laptops, cell phones, children, steering wheels, whatever it might be. All right, take a deep inhale in. On our exhale, we're going to round our spine now, bring our hands out in front and just create that roundness in our spine, just to show the difference between our hover as we round our spine. Then we're going to swing those arms around. Grab that chair behind you. Open and lift in the chest. Find that version of camel once again. Take a deep inhale in. On our exhale, arms out in front. Find that rounded spine, chin to our chest. And then we'll open and expand, lift up for that camel. We'll do that one more time as we round our spine, arms out in front. And then swing those arms behind us. Open and lift for that camel. All right, let's release our arms down, shake out those shoulders, come back to a neutral spine. All right, now we're going to give a little love to our wrists. So bring our hands out, creating a fist with our hands, and then roll your wrists around. So again, wrist mobility, we use our hands, our wrists, our fingers all day long, but how often do we take time to stretch, release? All right, now we're going to bring our hands away from us, push those fingers away, and then take your right hand and bring those left fingers towards you as you stretch out the hand and the wrist. And then wiggling your thumb. The first place the majority of people experience arthritis is in the thumb. So remembering to move that thumb throughout the day, shifting it around. All right, other side, left, right fingertips towards our body, stretch out the hand, wiggle the thumb. So these repetitive movements that we do all day long, just taking time to stretch and release. All right, release those fingertips and just shake your hands like just wash your hands and there's no paper towel. Just a nice way to get the blood flow, letting it go, shaking out those wrists. Good thing to do, again, throughout your day. All right, go ahead and bring your arms alongside your body. And now we're going to plant our left hand on the chair, lift our right arm up, reach with that right arm and go ahead and tip over to the left. Stretch out that right side body, reaching that right arm as far as you can. And then we're going to bring that right hand down, left arm up and over for that big reach to the right. Side body stretch. All right, we're going to shift side to side. You can go at your own pace here, just moving one arm up and over for that side body stretch. Just a nice way to open our bodies, release. And the best way to release anxiety is to move our bodies. So these simple yet effective movements, swaying back and forth, is good for our body and our brain. All right, we're going to come back to a neutral spine, roll those shoulder blades back. All right, we're going to lift our arms up again. Imagine those two walls closing in again, creating that engagement in those arms. We're going to do a little lean to the right, lateral movement, lean to the left. So it's good for our bodies to move in all planes of motion. So this being the frontal plane of motion, using our obliques, using our core to shift our upper body in a lateral movement. Keeping our core strong is so important to keep our extremities, our appendages healthier, wrists and ankles and feet. All right, let's drop those arms down, roll those shoulders and reset. All right, now we're going to place our hands on our knees. I'm going to move into some cat-cow. So extension and flexion of the spine as we push the spine back, chin to our chest, rounding that spine. And we're going to pull our knees forward, our hands on our knees, lift up and roll open for cow pose. Push our spine back for cats, and then open and lift for cow. Push our spine back for cats, open and lift for cow. Push the spine back for cats, open and lift for cow. So getting into all the tissue in between every single vertebrae. So our whole entire spine is being affected by these cat-cows. Because all day long, our spine is being compressed. So we need to take time throughout our day to decompress. All right, we'll come back to neutral. All right, let's put our hands on our chest now. So the right hand, the pointer finger and the thumb, feel your collarbone. And then take your left hand, place it up just above your belly button. So visualizing inside our thoracic spine. So the part of your spine where the ribs are connected. Do some rotations, spinal rotations as we twist to the right. And it's not a big, huge movement, but there's a whole lot going on in our spine. So visualize that. So keeping flexibility in our thoracic spine can help the rest of our spine be healthy. All right, we'll come back to center, shift to the left. The thoracic spine is a part of the spine that wants to be flexible, that has greater flexibility. So increasing that flexibility, come back to center. We're going to twist to the right. Keeping our thoracic spine flexible can help the rest of our spine back to neutral. And now go ahead and twist to the left. All right, coming back to center. So that was an active twist, just using the muscles in our body. Now we're going to use our hands to deepen that twist. So left hand on our right knee, right hand can go behind us on the chair. We'll go back to a spinal twist, but now we'll push that hand against the knee to deepen the twist, using a little bit of force with that right hand against the knee to get deeper into that spinal twist. So deepening on the inhale, softening on the exhale, finding that sweet spot, that Goldilocks spot. Oh, sorry. Ralphie. Take a deep inhale in. On our exhale, unwind, right hand on the outside of that left knee, left hand behind us. Go for the twist to the left. Ralphie enjoys my yoga room with me, so he's always in here. But unfortunately, he hears something, so my apologies for that. All right, let's unwind, come back to center, roll those shoulders. So those final twists, those side body stretches, all of these things you can do throughout your day to break up your day and energize and open your body a little bit more. All right, let's move into a little bit of hip mobility now. So moving down the kinetic chain. So the checkpoints of the kinetic chain are our necks, our shoulder, our hips, our knees, and our ankles. So keeping that mobility in all places is one part affects the other, right? So we want to make sure we get all those points. So we're going to lift our right knee up, pull it in towards our chest. You can hold that knee on the inner thigh, lifting in the chest, feeling a little pinch in that hip joint as you flex those toes. So just like our spine, our hips are compressed all day long. So taking opportunity to open up that tissue, hydrating and stimulating. All right, now hold that right knee on the outside. Gently take that right knee over to the right. So thinking about the acetabulum moving in that hip socket and all that tissue holding that hip socket together is getting stimulated and hydrated here. And now taking it deeper, finding your range of motion as you shift that circle around, the knee around in a circle, opening up that hip joint. We're going to bring that right knee back to center. Now place your hand behind your knee and just lift that right leg up as high as you can. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be small, but just think about what's happening in your body as you lift that right leg up and lower. Quadricep is working, core is stabilizing as we lift and lower. All right, go ahead and drop that right foot down to the floor, reset. And then we'll do that on the other side. So starting with that left knee into our chest, toes flex, hug it in, straight spine. And now taking that left knee over to the left, range of motion here, and creating the circle on our left knee. So that interoception, visualizing what's happening inside your body as that femur bone is shifting around in the hip socket. We'll come back to neutral, hands behind our knee now, and gently lift that left leg up, lift and lower. So the core is stabilizing, the quadricep is working, extension of that knee in and out. All right, and then drop that left foot down to the mat, and we'll reset. All right, moving into another hip opener, one of my favorites is the right ankle on top of that left knee. Now you can keep your bottom leg straight and place that knee where it's comfortable. It's all about what works in your body. So right ankle can be on that left leg can be bent or straight, you choose. And then if you choose, apply a little bit of pressure to that top thigh if that feels good. I like to do this shape, this pose when I'm on a long car ride or in an airplane. But you can certainly do it at your desk throughout your day too, because as we sit, our hips are being compressed. All that tissue is being pushed together. So taking opportunity to open and expand and hydrate. All right, if it feels good, go ahead and hinge at your hips and lengthen that spine as you hover over that right leg. Feeling that openness, that a little bit of pinching in that right hip joint as you find your sweet spot here. All right, go ahead and lift that upper body up. Right leg can come down. And now choosing your pigeon on this side. So bottom leg can be straight or the bottom leg knee can be bent. Placing that left ankle onto our right knee, a little bit of pressure on that top leg. If you choose, toes flex, straight spine. Finding your pigeon pose on this side. All right, and then choosing to hinge forward to hover over that left leg, finding your sweet spot, deepening the opening that's happening in that left hip, but listening to your body and doing what's right for you. All right, let's lift that upper body up. You can release that left leg down. We're going to move into a version of a lunge seated in our chair. So I'm going to shift to my right. Right foot's going to come down and left knee is going to be bent. I choose to keep a block under that foot because my legs don't feel comfortable on the floor. All right, so knee and hip aligned. Just a nice way to open up that hip flexor. And then when you're ready, lift those arms up for a version of a crescent lunge seated on the chair. So again, continuing to open up that hip flexor here. And then we're going to reach. So the right arm can come down. Our left arm is going to reach to the right. And we get this nice long extension with that left arm. And the stretch is going all the way down into that lower back. And then we're going to pull that left arm back and come back to neutral. I'm going to do that a few more times. Reach that left arm over to the right. Reach, reach, reach. And then left arm comes back. 2 more times as we reach that left arm over to the right and bring it back. Reach the left arm over to the right and bring it back. We're going to get a little deeper here in this stretch now. So we're going to take that left arm over to the right, reach, and now follow the hand, lift the arm up, and we're going to bring that left hand behind us for what I call rainbow. Feeling that stretch in our spine and our side body, continuing to open that hip flexor. All right, push that left arm over to the right, lift up, follow the rainbow. Push that left hand to the right, reach, lift up, follow the rainbow. 2 more times, left arm to the right, lift up and reach for rainbow. Last time as we reach, lift up, follow that rainbow. All right, we'll swing our hips around and then we can do a little windshield wiper, just sliding our bottom on the chair. If your chair is smooth, it's easier, right? But just resetting before we shift to the other side. All right, now taking that left foot on the outside, right knee underneath our right hip, setting ourselves up for a version of the lunge on this side. Feeling that stretch in our hip flexor. And now left arm comes down, right arm reaches to the left, reach, 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 and then bring it back. We'll do that a few more times. Right arm reaches to the left and bring it back. Right arm reaches to the left and bring it back. 2 more times. Reaching to the left, bring it back. Reach that right arm to the left and bring it back. All right, moving into our rainbow. Right arm goes to the left, reach, lift up, swing it behind you, follow that hand. Big stretch in that whole side body. All right, right arm to the left, reach, lift up, follow the hand for that rainbow. Right hand to the left, reach, lift up, follow that rainbow. Last time, reach to the left, lift up, follow that rainbow. All right, swinging our body around, heels in, toes out, version of goddess pose. All right, it's a little bit of pressure on those inner thighs. Check in, notice what you feel. So basically, we did almost a full body workout, neck, shoulders, spine, hips, and we got a little bit into our legs. So just combating the lifestyle that we all have when we work and those misalignments that we create in our body with repetitive movements, and just being able to open and release physically, mentally, and emotionally. All right, walk your feet back in. We'll come back to that seated position. We'll end with one last deep inhale in, arms lift, reach tall. And on our exhale, side out. Hands to heart center. So thank you so much for allowing me to walk you through this practice today. Marla, thank you for the opportunity.